Ever feel like life is pulling you in two directions? One side of you wants to chase your dream life, maybe that big idea, that personal project, that version of you that's bold, focused, free. But the other side? It's weighed down by what the world expects from you. Be nice, play safe, follow the script. It's a tension we all live with, between who we want to be and who we've been taught to be. But what if there's a way to break through? Not a hack, not a motivational quote. A real philosophy, one that's survived centuries, one that reshapes not only how you deal with challenges, but how you live. In today's journey, we're diving into a powerful fusion: Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of inner resilience, and the timeless code of Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai. Two paths that, together, offer a guide to becoming unbeatable, not just in battle, but in life. Now imagine this. You're standing at a fork in the road. One path follows everything society says you should be. The other path is foggy, unfamiliar, but it feels more real. That second path, that's the one Musashi and the Stoics would have taken. And if you're brave enough, it's the one we'll explore together today, choosing the path of inner strength. Let's start with a core question. What does it take to live your dream life? No, not the Instagram version. The one where you wake up at peace. The one where your actions feel aligned with who you are. The one where, even when things are hard, you don't flinch because you know who you are and what you stand for. According to Stoicism, the price of that life starts with this: master your emotions, not suppress them, not fake it. Understand them, train them. Emotions aren't the enemy, but letting them control you is. Stoics teach us to ask, is this in my control? And if not, let it go. Miyamoto Musashi's teachings echo this same idea, but from a different lens. As a warrior and a wanderer, he believed in detachment, not to escape life, but to rise above distractions. His way of walking alone isn't a lonely path. It's a deliberate choice to stop chasing approval and start building inner discipline. The problem with being too nice. Here's a hard truth that both Musashi and the Stoics would agree on. Being overly nice, always accommodating, always saying yes, can actually be a form of self-betrayal. Now, don't get me wrong. Kindness is powerful, but there's a big difference between authentic kindness and people-pleasing. The former comes from strength. The latter, it slowly erodes who you are. How many times have you said yes when you meant no? How many times have you worried what others think more than what you feel? That's what Stoicism points out. When we care more about opinions than values, we trap ourselves in a cage of conformity. And Musashi? He never lived to impress anyone. His life was built on clarity, on choosing solitude when needed, and walking the path of personal truth, even when it meant walking alone. What Stoicism and Musashi teach us. Let's zoom in on the how. How do we actually live this out? 1. Accept everything as it is. It sounds simple, but it's radical. You're not giving up. You're letting go of the fantasy that the world owes you a certain outcome. You stop saying, this shouldn't have happened, and you start saying, okay, now what? That's freedom. That's power. 2. Detach from desires. Think about the last thing you really wanted. Got it? Good. Now ask yourself, how long did that satisfaction last? Most desires fade the moment we fulfill them. Musashi knew this. He said to detach from desire your whole life long. It doesn't mean don't want anything. It means don't let your happiness depend on it. 3. Don't let partial feelings guide your actions. Ever made a decision in anger, or fear, or even blind excitement, only to regret it? Musashi warns us, fleeting emotions should not lead long-term choices. Feelings are real, but they're not always true. The practice is to feel them, acknowledge them, but then let your values decide. Think lightly of yourself, deeply of the world. This next one is a favorite of mine. Musashi said, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." It's not self-hate, it's humility. It's about seeing yourself as part of something bigger. Less ego, more purpose. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you start becoming yourself. This doesn't mean neglecting your needs. It means anchoring your identity not in status or ego, but in contribution, clarity, and calm. And here's where Stoicism and Musashi meet again. Both emphasize living in alignment with nature, with truth, with things that endure. This is not an escape. It's a blueprint. Some people hear Stoicism or read Musashi and think, isn't this just withdrawing from the world? But they've got it all wrong. This isn't about hiding. It's about showing up differently. You still face the world. You still do the hard things. But now you do it from a place of centeredness. You stop living by reaction and start living by intention. When society pushes you to be constantly agreeable, constantly chasing more, constantly seeking validation, this path invites you to slow down, to look within, and to walk with conviction, even if that path is not popular. And yeah, it's not always easy. The world rewards noise, not nuance. But those who live by noise often get lost in it. You're learning to listen to the quieter voice inside. In the quiet of a mountain cave just weeks before his death, Miyamoto Musashi put pen to paper and wrote 21 short lines. Not poems, not parables, but principles. Simple, director, unforgiving. He called it the Dokodo, or the way of walking alone. But don't let the title fool you. These aren't the ramblings of a recluse. They are the distilled wisdom of a warrior philosopher who understood life in a way most of us only glimpse at in rare, lucid moments. And today we're going to walk through these principles not as artifacts, but as practical tools for you right now. 1. Accept everything just the way it is. Let's start with one that sounds, well, passive. But it's not. Acceptance isn't about being okay with everything. It's about seeing clearly. When you stop resisting what's already happened, the mistake, the setback, the breakup, the missed opportunity, you create space. Space to respond, not react. Space to move forward. Musashi doesn't say, love everything. He says, accept it. That's the first step to mastery. 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Modern life is built on pleasure-seeking. Swipe, click, scroll, sugar, dopamine, distractions on demand. But here's the thing. Pleasure isn't happiness. It's a hit. It fades. Musashi knew that chasing pleasure makes us soft, dependent, out of alignment with what matters. This isn't about asceticism. It's about awareness. Ask yourself, am I doing this to grow or just to numb? When you stop craving momentary highs, you start finding joy in discipline, in simplicity, in real depth. 3. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Ever made a big decision when you were tired, or angry, or infatuated? Musashi warns against that. He's not saying don't feel. He's saying don't decide based on a feeling that hasn't been tested. Give your emotions time to settle. Don't let a single mood change your entire life path. Clarity takes time, and in that time you reclaim power over impulse. 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. This one's poetic and powerful. Most of us walk around with a constant spotlight on ourselves. What do people think of me? Am I good enough, smart enough, liked enough? But the truth, the world is bigger than you, and that's not depressing, it's freeing. Thinking lightly of yourself means stop taking things personally. Stop acting like everything revolves around you. Think deeply of the world instead. Ask questions, observe, contribute. That's where purpose starts. 5. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Desire, the "I'll be happy when" trap. Musashi says, drop it. That doesn't mean don't have goals. It means don't attach your identity to them. Want things? Sure. But don't need them. Don't hinge your entire self-worth on the outcome. There's a calm that comes when you realize nothing out there can complete you. You're already whole. Everything else? A bonus? 6. Do not regret what you have done. This one's tough. We all have regrets, right? But Musashi invites us to a deeper reflection. Regret keeps us stuck. It's living in reverse. What if, instead of regretting, you learned? Took the lesson, made peace, moved forward. You can't rewrite the past, but you can write the next page. And that only happens when you stop rereading the last one. 7. Never be jealous. Jealousy is poison. It shifts your focus from your lane to someone else's. It tells you their success means your failure, but it doesn't. Musashi says, let it go, not because you're too noble to feel it, but because it drains your energy. It distracts, it weakens your spirit. Celebrate others, be inspired, then turn back to your own path because that's where your power lives. 8. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Loss is part of life. People leave, things change, seasons shift. Musashi's not saying don't feel grief. He's saying don't get stuck in it. Every ending is a doorway. Letting go isn't forgetting. It's honoring. It's allowing room for what's next. Embrace what was, bless it, and then walk forward. 9. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Complaining is a cheap release. It feels like action, but it's not. Resentment is even worse. It's holding hot coals and hoping someone else gets burned. Musashi's wisdom: drop it all. If you can change it, act. If you can't, accept. The more you complain, the less energy you have for real change. The more you resent, the less space you have for peace. 10. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Hold up. Isn't love supposed to be the highest ideal? Yes, but not when it becomes blind. Musashi warns us not to let intense feelings make our choices for us. Lust? It fades. Obsession? It consumes. Even love, if it's unbalanced, can lead us to forget ourselves. The lesson here: love clearly, not blindly. Love with eyes open, with values intact, with strength and not surrender of self. 11th, in all things have no preferences. This one sounds strange, doesn't it? Like, how do you not have preferences? But what Musashi means is this: don't be rigid. Don't demand that life be a certain way for you to be happy. Be adaptable. Be open. Life will throw curveballs. Your peace depends on your ability to flow, not your ability to control. 12th, be indifferent to where you live. Home isn't a place, it's a state of being. Musashi isn't telling us to ignore beauty, comfort, or safety. He's saying, don't depend on them. Don't tie your happiness to your surroundings, because if you can find contentment wherever you are, you carry peace with you, always. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just about Musashi or Stoicism. It's about you, the person you are becoming. We've explored detachment, resilience, clarity, and now we turn to the final, most profound principles that Musashi left behind. They challenge not only how we live, but how we think about meaning, death, and legacy. Let's finish this journey strong. 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Now, before you roll your eyes, no, this doesn't mean you need to give up delicious meals. Musashi is pointing at something deeper. When you obsess over flavors, comfort, indulgence, you risk losing appreciation for the simple. This isn't about deprivation, it's about balance. Enjoy what you eat, but don't let life revolve around pleasures. Let joy come from the experience, the company, the presence, not just the craving. 14. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Minimalism isn't a modern trend. Musashi was living it 400 years ago. Think of your life like a backpack. Every possession you keep adds weight. Some things you need. Others, they're just clutter, emotional or physical. Letting go frees up space for growth, new memories, peace. Ask yourself, what am I carrying just because I always have? Then give yourself permission to release it. 15th, do not act following customary beliefs. Read that again. Most of what we do because others do. Because we were told that's how life works. Go to school, get a job, buy the house, keep quiet, play nice. But Musashi says, think for yourself. Customs aren't bad, but blind obedience is. Ask, is this right for me? Does this reflect my values? Your life deserves more than autopilot. 16th, do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. Here's a metaphor. Your weapons today might be certifications, skills, even tools you never use but keep piling on out of fear or pride. More isn't better. Better is better. Master what serves your path. Let go of the rest. You don't need to be a jack of all trades, just a master of the few that matter. 17th, do not fear death. This one stops people in their tracks. Musashi isn't romanticizing death. He's reminding us that life is short, and that's the point. Every moment you fear the end is a moment you're not truly living. When you stop fearing death, you start saying yes to the right things. You start showing up, loving harder, creating freely. Remember, the finish line isn't the enemy. Wasting time before it is. 18. Do not seek to possess goods or fiefs for your old age. It's wise to plan, but dangerous to hoard. Modern society teaches us to spend youth chasing wealth, just to sit on it in fear of the future. But Musashi challenges that. Security isn't in stuff. It's in character, in relationships, in your ability to adapt. Don't let fear of the future rob you of living today. 19. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. This one's powerful, especially in our age of external blame and spiritual outsourcing. Musashi isn't anti-faith. He's pro-responsibility. Believe what you believe, but don't wait for rescue. Pray, then act. Reflect, then move. Your life is your duty. Don't wait for a miracle. Be the miracle. 20. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Your body fades, your wealth disappears. But your character, that's what echoes when you're gone. Honor isn't about glory. It's about consistency, integrity. Doing what's right, especially when it's hard, especially when no one sees. Musashi lived by this. So did the Stoics. And deep down, you know you want to too. Live so that your future self nods in pride when they look back. 21. Never stray from the way. This is the heart of it all. Your way is your why, your values, your deepest truth. It's easy to get pulled off course by comfort, by doubt, by distraction. But Musashi urges us, stay true, even when it's lonely, even when the world misunderstands you. The way isn't about perfection, it's about alignment, about returning to center again and again. It's how you become unshakable. Musashi meets Stoicism. Now, pause for a moment. Can you feel how Musashi's code overlaps with Stoicism? Both demand clarity, both demand courage, both lead to a life that's free, not because it's easy, but because it's lived with intention. Stoicism teaches you, control what you can, accept what you can't, live by virtue. Musashi teaches you, walk alone if needed. Master yourself, never betray your path. Together, they form a way of life that cuts through noise, one that asks not for applause, but for presence, bringing this into your life. So what do you do with all of this? You start small. Wake up and reflect. What's within my control today? Notice when a desire starts to control you, and breathe through it. Choose discomfort if it keeps you aligned with your values. Let go of something, a possession, a grudge, a need for approval. Say no, not to be rude, but to honor your way. The change won't happen all at once, but every small act of alignment adds up. And over time, you'll look back and realize you didn't just read about strength, you became it. Musashi didn't leave behind an empire or riches. He left behind words, ideas. A way Stoicism, too, wasn't about followers. It was about freedom. So what about you? What will you leave behind? Not someday, but today, in your actions, your presence, your energy. You don't have to be a warrior to live like one. You don't have to be perfect to walk your way. All you have to do is start and never stray from it. This concludes our journey into the Unbeatable Way, a fusion of Stoic resilience and Musashi's timeless code. If this message resonated, share it, re-watch it, reflect on it, and above all, live it. You're not here to follow a script. You're here to write one. Make it unforgettable. Make it yours.